Hey there, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to 1949. We're here in Pittsburgh, where we have the Cardinals against the Pirates again, and the Pirates are trying to break their three-game losing streak. 18-6 are the Pirates, which shows you how good they were, despite the fact that they've lost three in a row. And Stan Musial promptly hits a ground ball over to Danny Murtaugh at second base, throws over to first for the first out. Here's Enos Slaughter, takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Cardinals are just under 500 as Slaughter hits a base hit over to right field right in front of Dixie Walker and makes it up to first base. Cardinals have been pretty disappointing so far in this replay. Here's Eddie Kazak, takes the ball, 1-0 the count. Runner still on first base, and he hits one into center field that falls in front of Westlake, and St. Louis has something going on here. Runners on first and second here with only one out, top of the first, and here's Marty Marion. And he takes the ball off the outside of the corner for 1-0 count. Fouls one back, 1-1 now the count. There's a ground ball out to the mound. Chambers has it, throws over to Murtaugh for one, and on to Hop at first for the double play. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. And here comes Ralph Kiner, probably not the best person in the world to hit leadoff, but he gets on base more than often enough, as you can see from his stats. 1-1 the count on him now, and that's why 2-1 now the count on Ralph. And there's a striking at the knees. It's 2-2, and he takes a called strike three, a little bit high, but takes it anyway. One out. Here's Ed Fitzgerald, who takes the ball. 1-0 the count on him. And there's a sinker that misses inside. It's 2-0 now on Fitzgerald. And there's a strike in the outside edge. 2-1 now the count. And that's in there for a ball. Ball three. 3-1 the count now. And Fitzgerald swings at that one in the dirt. That was a mistake by Jim Hearn, but he got away with it. Full count now on Ed. And that one's just outside, and that puts Fitzgerald on at first base. Here's Danny Murtaugh now, runner on first base, one out, bottom of the first. And there's a ball outside. 1-0 the count to Murtaugh, and he hits one down to Jones at first. Over to Marion at the shortstop at second base for one, and the throw back, unfortunately for the Cardinals, not quite in time. That'll bring up Pete Castiglione. Runner on first base, two outs now, bottom of the first inning. And there's a ground ball over to Schoendienst, and he makes the play, throws over to first, but that is not in time. That'll put Castiglione on at first. So runners on at first and second now for Eddie Bachman for the Pirates. And there's a strike, rather, in there to Bachman, 0-1 the count. And there's a little ground ball over to second, and Schoendienst makes the stop but can't make the play, and Bachman's safe at first. Kind of a adventure out there at second for Red in this inning, and bases are loaded here for Johnny Hop. Hop up there takes a sinker low for a ball, 1-0 the count, and there's a strike, 1-1 now the count to Hop, and that's low, 2-1. That's hit over to shallow right center field, and it's going to be Northey out there, the right fielder, in there to make the catch. We go to the top of the second. Here's Joe Garagiola, and Joe takes a strike, 0-1 the count. And there's the ball. 1-1 now the count to Garagiola, and there's another ball to him, 2-1 now the count. A little ground ball over the left side, and Bachman, third baseman, has it. Throws over to first for the easy out, one away. And here's Nippy Jones, who takes a strike, 0-1 the count on him. And there's another ground ball over to Bachman, throws over to first for the out, two away. And here's Red Schoendienst, hitting only 189. He takes the ball and fouls one off. 1-1 now the count on him. There's one low, 2-1 now the count on Red, and there's a little ground ball over to the left side, and both Bachman and Castiglione were having a hard time with that one. Neither one able to make the play. This is another example of a good description of a pretty poor play, as both of them looked a little bit foolish, kind of sliding and skidding around trying to get to that ball, and nobody really had much of a play on that one. Would have been better for somebody to just take it up and eat it and forget about all the foolishness. And so with that, we've got runner on at first base here, two outs in the top of the second inning, and it's going to be Ron Northey up there now. And he takes a fastball on their first strike, 0-1 the count now on Ron. There's a little pop-up over the left side, and it's going to be actually the catcher, Fitzgerald, going out there, calling off Bachman and making the catch, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. No score so far, and here comes Wally Westlake. Westlake takes a strike over the inside corner, 0-1 the count, and there's one in the dirt. 1-1 now the count on Wally. And that one's just inside. It's 2-1 on him. And there's one inside again, 3-1 the count on Wally Westlake, and he fouls one straight back. Full count now on Wally. There's a ground ball through the hole on the right side and in there for a base hit. And so Dixie Walker will come up now. Runner on at first base, and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. We're going to see what we can do here with Walker. And he does bunt, and there's a bunt that goes in there right up to the catcher, Garagiola, and Joe is able to make the play at first and then drops the ball. Everybody's safe, and that puts runners on at first and second now for Cliff Chambers, the pitcher. And guess what? We're going to bunt again. when all else fails, bunt, and that one's bunted foul. 0-1 the count, and he takes strike 2 with that one. It's 0-2. There's a good bunt over to the mound. Hearn grabs it and makes the play over to Red Schoendienst, covering at the first base bag, and that moves the runners up to second and third. 1 out, and here's Ralph Kiner with 2 in scoring position. And, he's dangerous. They're not going to walk him. They'll pitch to him. He fouls one back. 0-1 the count. There's a ball to him. It's 1-1. There's a little bouncer up the middle, and that's up and through into center field for a base hit, and that will score 2, and it's 2-0 Pirates just like that. Here's Ed Fitzgerald with Kiner on at first base, and Fitzgerald takes the ball, and another ball wide. 2-0 now the count. Kiner's not going anywhere, and there's a foul ball. 2-1 now the count on Fitzgerald, and there's a swing and a miss at that one. It's 2-2, and that one misses in the dirt. Full count now on Ed, and another throw to first base. Kiner not doing anything. There's one hit deep over down the left field line, and that's going to be a base hit, at least a double for Ed. And Kiner goes home, and boy, he's thrown out of the plate by Enos Slaughter. We should know better than to try to test Slaughter's arm. Fitzgerald gets the double, but Ralph Kiner's thrown out trying to score from first on that one, and that one hit high off that wall, almost a home run for Fitzgerald. That'll bring up Danny Murtaugh now with the runner on second base, but with 2 outs, and he takes the ball. There's a little ground ball over to the right side, and the pitcher Hearn goes over, grabs that one, throws to first for the out. So we go to the top of the third inning, 2-0 now Pirates. And it's Hearn up there who promptly hits a base hit in the right field, and that'll bring up Stan Musial. As Hearn first pitch swing gets the first pitch base hit. There's a ball in there to Stan. 1-0 the count. There's a strike as he swings and misses at 1. It's 1-1. And he hits one deep to right field and way out of here for a home run, and that'll make it a 2-2 ball game. Tie ball game after Musial hits that home run. Enos Slaughter now takes the ball, then fouls one back. 1-1 the count. There's a little ground ball down to Castiglione at short. Makes the play, throws to first for the out, 1 away. And here's Eddie Kozak. He takes a ball off the outside corner. 1-0 now the count. And there's one that's fouled back. 1-1 the count now on Kozak, and that's off target. 2-1 now the count. 2-2 is that one swung on and missed. There's a base hit over to left field, and that's out of the reach of Bachman and over there to Ralph Kiner, and that means Kozak will take his base at first base, and that'll bring up Marty Marion, runner on at first base. It's 2-2 ball game. 6 hits now for the Cardinals, and he gets hit number 7 into left field, and that will only send Kozak as far as second base, and tell you, Chambers has been struggling here. Runners on at first and second now, 1 out, top of the third inning, 2-2 ball game. Here's Joe Garagiola who fouls one back. 0-1 the count on him, and there's a ball. 1-1 now the count. And there's a curve in the outside corner for a strike. It makes it 1-2, and there's another strike, and there's strike 3, and they had Joe looking, and that will be the second out. Here comes Neppy Jones, and Jones up there takes a strike. 0-1 the count. And there's a ball to him. 1-1 now the count. There's a foul ball up and out of play. 1-2 now the count on Jones. And that's foul back again. Still 1-2. It's another foul ball. 1-2 the count remains. And there's a little dribbler over down to the right side. Chambers has it. Throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the third. Good ball game. 2-2 ball game. Lots of hitting. Not a lot of runs. And here's Pete Castiglione up there who takes a strike. And another strike. I was about to say a ball that was low, but they call that one a strike. And there's that sinking fastball for strike 3. Here comes Eddie Bachman. Bachman takes the ball, 1-0 the count. And there's another ball inside, 2-0 the count now. He hits a little fly into shallow left field that will bounce in front of Enos Slaughter for a base hit, and that'll bring up Johnny Hopp. The runner on at first base with 1 out here, bottom of the third. And here's Johnny Hopp. And there's a ball in the dirt, but Garagiola can block that one. 1-0 the count now. And there's one through the left side for a base hit. And we're not going to test Slaughter's arm again. We'll hold Bachman at second base, and that'll bring up Wally Westlake. Runners on at first and second with only 1 out, bottom of the third inning. Let's see what Westlake can do. And he takes a ball high, 1-0 the count. And there's one that's lifted up and foul, 1-1 the count now on Wally. That's a little bit low, 2-1 now the count on Westlake. And there's one over to left field to the wall and gone. That one's out of here, and that'll give the Pirates a 3-run lead. The 3-run homer by Wally Westlake makes it a 5-2 ball game. I'm just going to look this up quickly. Westlake, his second home run of the year against 23 in real life, so he really needs to open up here a little bit. Walker takes the ball, and then a strike. 1-1 the count on him. That was a little home run over in Greenberg's garden there in left field, and that one's fouled away. 1-2 now the count on Walker. And there's a little ground ball over to Kozak at third base, and he makes a good play on that. Throws over to first just in time for the out. 2 away, and here comes Cliff Chambers. And there's a slider below the knees for a ball. 1-0 the count. And there's another one inside. It's 2-0 now on Cliff. And there's a sinker low. 3-0 now the count on Chambers. And there's ball 4 low, and he'll take his base. So 2 walks in a row for the pitcher. Here comes Ralph Kiner with a runner on first base. He already had that sinker in the second inning. He takes a strike. Sorry, not 2 walks in a row. That's right. Chambers sacrificed the first time. That's why he didn't have that at bat. And there's a little ground ball into left field for a base hit, a line drive, I should say. And Chambers, of course, will stop at second. We already saw what Enos Slaughter can do. Kiner now 2 for 3 today, and here comes Ed Fitzgerald with runners on at first and second here, bottom of the third, 5-2 Pirates. There's a ball in there to Fitzgerald, 1-0 the count. Another ball high and away, it's 2-0. And there's a strike to him, 2-1 the count now on Fitzgerald, and that one's lifted down the first base line. That will score 1. Kiner goes to third. Fitzgerald's there on at first. That's a 6-2 game now. And here comes Danny Murtaugh against Ted Wilkes. Ted Wilkes, the new pitcher for the Cardinals. And so the Cardinals starter there, Hearn, really didn't last very long, not even 3 innings, as he's given up 6 runs and 10 hits. And Wilkes doesn't look like he's going to do too much better. And there's a ball, 1-0 the count, 2-0 now. There's another ball. And there's a ground ball through the middle, and Schoendienst has it, tosses over to Marion for the force play at second. We finally go to the top of the 4th inning, and here comes Schoendienst. It's a little ground ball over to the right side. Murtaugh has it for, makes a stop, and it throws to first for the out. 1 away. Here is Ron Northey. Northey takes the ball high, 1-0, and hits one off the mound into center field for a base hit. That'll bring up Ted Wilkes with the runner on at first base. And Wilkes, of course, going to bunt, batting for himself, takes the ball, and then a strike. 1-1 the count now on Wilkes. Bunts one down the third base line, foul. 1-2 now, and that's in tight for a ball. It's 2-2. And there's one down the first base line, and that's played by Hop, who flips over to Murtaugh, covering the bag for the second out. And here comes Stan Musial. Musial will take a strike, 0-1 the count on Stan. There's a ball. 1-1 now the count. And that one's way high. 2-1 now the count on Musial. This is dangerous. There's a striking at the knees, 2-2, and that one's fouled away. Still 2-2 on Stan. There's a liner over Hop's head, and that's going to be into right field for a base hit that will score 1, and Musial's on at first. Can't count the Cardinals out quite yet, can you? It's 6-3 now, and here's Enos Slaughter. Musial has 3 RBIs, and boy, Slaughter just barely misses hitting a home run there. That was down the right field line and just goes foul. 0-1 the count now on Slaughter. And that one's fouled back. 0-2 now the count. There's a curveball high. 1-2 now the count on him. And there's a ground ball over to Danny Murtaugh at second. Makes the play, throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and it's Pete Castiglione up there. There's a little ground ball over to the right of the mound. Over to Schoendienst at second. Makes the play over to first for the out. 1 away. Here's Eddie Bachman, who takes the ball. 1-0 the count on Eddie. That's swung on and fouled back. 1-1 now. There's a sinker inside that misses. 2-1 the count now on Bachman. That's a little off-speed pitch tapped over to the left-hand side, and that's Wilkes, who tries to grab it and drops it, can't get a hold of it, and Bachman will be safe at first with on the air, and that'll bring up Johnny Hop. And there's a throw to first base. Bachman gets back in time, and there's a strike in there to Hop. 1-0 the count. And there's 1-1 as that sinker missed low. 1-1 now. Bachman almost picked off, and they're leaning the wrong way. 1-1 the count still. And there's ball 2 in the dirt, 2-1 in his runner's delight. And boy, Bachman's picked off this time as the throw over to first base, and Bachman leaned the wrong way, went back to Marion, who chases him back and tags him out. So that's the second out of the inning. Johnny Hop up there now still with a 2-1 count. And he lines one over to the right side, but just right at Jones, the first baseman, for the out. We go to the top of the 5th, and it's still 6-3 Pirates. Here's Eddie Kozak, and he ends up hitting a first pitch he sees over into right center field, right in front of Dixie Walker for a base hit. Kozak is 3 for 3, and that'll bring up Marty Marion. There's a strike in there right of the knees, 0-1 the count, and there's a ball. 1-1 now the count on Marty. And he watched a strike 2 go by him, 1-2 now, and he goes around on this one, tried to check his swing and couldn't. That's a strike 3, second strike out of the game for Chambers, and that'll bring up Joe Garagiola. Top of the 5th inning, 6-3 Pirates. There's a ball in there to Joe, 1-0 the count, and another breaking ball too low. It's 2-0. The fastball on the outside edge for a strike, 2-1 the count now on Joe. And there's one hit deep to right field, deep, and Walker able to go back and grab that one a little bit more right center than true right field, back where it's almost 400 feet. 2 away now. Nippy Jones up there takes a strike, swings and misses rather at one for a strike, and then hits a little pop up over to the left side to Castiglione for the out. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and this will bring up Wally Westlake. 6-3 still Pirates. 20 hits in this one. We've had a lot of hitting, not a lot of scoring. That one's ripped to left field for a base hit. Another hit in this one, 11th hit for the Pirates, and that'll bring up Dixie Walker with Westlake on at first. Westlake also 3 for 3 today. And there's a ball in the dirt, 1-0 the count now to Walker. And there's one that goes into right field past Jones and Schoendienst for a base hit. Westlake able to go to third base. That'll bring up Cliff Chambers now. Chambers, who is 0 for 0 today, when sacrificed once and walked once, takes the ball, 1-0 the count. And there's a pitch on the corner for a strike, 1-1 the count now on Chambers, and that's outside 2-1 now the count. And there is a sinker over to a sinker pitch that's hit over to second base, and it goes right under the glove of Schoendienst for an error, third error on St. Louis today, and that'll score another run. It's 7-3. That'll bring up Ralph Kiner now. Runners on first and second. Nobody out still, bottom of the fifth. Kiner fouls one back, 0-1 the count now on Ralph. And there's a good sinker in there too. It's 0-2, and takes a high changeup, 1-2 now the count. And there's strike three called, and Wilkes gets him for his first strikeout of the inning. That's a big strikeout. Here comes Ed Fitzgerald. Still runners on first and second, still one out, and he swings and misses for strike one. There's one outside, 1-1 the count now on Fitzgerald, and there's a swing and a miss on another one. It's 1-2. Ball two in the dirt, 2-2 the count, and that's low and outside, full count now on Fitzgerald. There's a shot over into left field for a hit, and we're not going to challenge Slaughter again, not with one out. That'll load the bases here for Danny Murtaugh. Bases loaded. Murtaugh only hitting .217, was hitting better earlier this season. He takes a ball, 1-0 the count. And that one's hit right to Wilkes, who bobbles that one a little bit, goes over to the pitcher, goes down to the plate for the force out, and that's all they can get because of the bobble, and that'll bring up Castiglione. Pete hitting .311, bases loaded, two outs now, takes a ball, 1-0 the pitch, 2-0 the count now. And there's one low for ball three, 3-0 the count, Castiglione taking all the way, and that's in too tight, and now it's an 8-3 ball game as he walks in the run. That'll bring up Eddie Bachman. Now bases still loaded, two outs, bottom of the fifth. And there's a little ground ball over to Kozak at third, makes the play and throws over to first for the out. We go to the top of the sixth. 8-3 now Pittsburgh. And here comes Red Schoendienst, who takes a strike. It's 0-1 on him. 0-2 after that fastball. And 1-2 is that breaking ball just missed. 1-2 the pitch, and that's grounded through into the hole into left field for a base hit number 11 for the Cardinals. And here comes Ron Northey. And he hits one by Murtaugh on the other side over to the right side, and that'll bring Schoendienst over to second. So runners on at first and second now. Here comes Tommy Glaviano in as the pinch hitter for the Cardinals. He takes a ball and then hits one off the end of the bat to the right side, and that's going to be an error over there on Johnny Hopp, the first baseman. That loads the bases for Stan Musial. He can make this a one-run ball game in a second. And there's a fastball in there for a strike, 0-1 the count now on Musial, and he hits one past Murtaugh into center field rather for a base hit. One scores. Here's the throw in to try to get Northey, and that's not in time. Two score on that, and it's 8-5. And here is Enos Slaughter, the potential tying run, takes a strike, and then a ball. 1-1 the count now on Slaughter, and he hits one into the right side for another base hit. And they're going to try to score, and here comes the play over by Walker down to Fitzgerald blocking the plate, and he gets the ball and he tags the runner out for the out, and that'll make it runners on at first and third now. 8-5 the score with Eddie Kozak coming up. Musial on at third and Slaughter at first, and Kozak takes the ball, and there's another ball high and inside, 2-0 the count, and there's ball three that misses again inside. There's that strike, 3-1 now the count, and there's a check swing foul, full count now on Kozak. And he takes one outside, and that'll load the bases here for Marty Marion. Bases loaded. Marion, potential go-ahead run, takes the ball, 1-0 the count. There's a strike called to him, 1-1. And there's a little roller down the first base line, and that Chambers allows that one to roll foul. 1-2 now the count on Marion. There's a ground ball over to third base. Bachman has it over to Murtaugh at second for one, and on to Hopp at first for the double play. And the Pirates get out of that one. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning now. It's 8-5 Pirates, and here comes Johnny Hopp. Hopp up there now, and he'll face against Jerry Staley. Staley, who takes the ball, 1-0 the count now on him. Fouls one away. It's 1-1. Staley 0-2 so far this season, and there's another foul ball by Hopp, and there's a ball to him. 2-2 now the count on Johnny Hopp. There's one hit wide of third, and it's going to be Marion who grabs that one, throws all the way over to first for the out, one away, and here comes Wally Westlake. Westlake 3 for 3 today. Takes a strike, 0-1 the count now on Wally. There's another strike on him, it's 0-2. And that's fouled into the second deck there, 0-2 the count still, and there's a foul bounced off the catcher, still 0-2. And there's one low, 1-2 now the count, and that's popped up but out of play, still 1-2 on Westlake. That's into tight, 2-2 the count now on Wally. And there is a good sinker that he swings and misses for strike 3, 2 away. And here is Dixie Walker. Walker takes a strike. It's 0-1. There's a little Juan Hopper over to the second baseman, Schoendienst, who makes the play, throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the seventh. I'll bring up Joe Garagiola, who takes the ball. Chambers starting to fall apart a little bit. There's ball 2 in there to Joe. There's a little ground ball over to Danny Murtaugh at second. Makes the play and throws to first for the out. One away. Nippy Jones up there now takes the ball. 1-0 the count. There's a strike, 1-1. There's a fastball that misses. It's 2-1. There's a fastball in there for a strike, 2-2 now. There's a little ground ball over to the right side again. Chambers has it, throws over to Hop for the out, 2 away, and here's Red Schoendienst. 2 for 3 so far today, fouls 1 back. 0-1 the count now. 0-2 now on Red. And there's one in there, but just low. 1-2 now on Schoendienst, and he hits one over to right field. Dixie Walker should be called for an error on that one, and instead they're going to call that as a base hit. That was a poor play by Walker, who tried to leap for that one instead of going back the way that he should have, and that ends up going off the scoreboard or off the fence right behind him, and ends up giving a double there to Schoendienst. So Red in there with another base hit. He is 3 for 4 today. Here's Ron Northey, hits one over to the right side. Murtaugh has it and makes the play, throws over to first for the out. Hop jumps up and grabs that high throw. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and I hate to say this, but Chambers, I think, has pitched more than enough today. We're going to put in a pinch hitter for him. Les Fleming is going to be the pinch hitter, backup first baseman. And there's a ball down low to Fleming, and he hits one over to the right side. Schoendienst has it for the out, throws to first for the out, 1 away. And here's Ralph Kiner taking a strike. 0-1 the count, 1 out. Fouls 1 back. It's 0-2 on Kiner. There's a breaking ball low, 1-2 now to Kiner. And that's up and in, 2-2 now the count on Ralph. And there's one inside, fouled away, still 2-2. There's a pop-up over behind second base. Schoendienst has it for the out, 2 away. And here is Ed Fitzgerald. Takes the ball wide, 1-0 the count, and there's a curveball up high. It's 2-0 to Fitzgerald. There's a screwball in there for a strike, 2-1 the count. There's one that's hit back foul, 2-2. 2-2 the count remains. And there's a single through the left side for a base hit. Fitzgerald 4 for 4 today, and that'll bring up Danny Murtaugh, who doesn't seem to be able to hit anything today. 0 for 4 today for Danny, and he takes a strike, 0-1 the count. And 0-2 as that breaking ball's in there for a strike. There's a pitch inside, 1-2 the count now, Murtaugh. And there's a fastball that dips into the zone for strike 3, and that does it. And we'll go to the top of where we at here, top of the 8th inning. And the question is, who do we put in here for the Pirates? And I tell you, Lombardi has started, so we're probably not going to use him. Elmer Riddle was in there not long ago. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I think we're going to put in Bob Muncrief. Not a whole lot of great choices there in the bullpen. And Del Rice will be the pinch hitter here for the Cardinals. And there's a fastball low, 1-0, and there's one off the plate, 2-0 the count now on Rice. And there's a strike in there too. It's 2-1 now the count. And there's one hit deep to center field. Westlake has a beat on it, has it for the first out. And here comes Stan Musial, who's 3 for 4 today, driven in 5 runs, takes the ball. And there's a strike to him, 1-1 the count. There's one dribble foul, 1-2 now the count on Stan. And that one is hit hard, high, and just foul. 1-2 the count remains on Stan Musial, and that's way up high. 2-2 now the count on Stan. There's a little ground ball over to Murtaugh, and that gets under his glove, and that'll be a base hit. Musial is 4 for 5 today, and that'll bring up Enos Slaughter. Doesn't really matter who you throw out there, and Slaughter takes the ball, 1-0 the count, and there's one foul back, 1-1 now the count on Slaughter. And there's a line drive off the glove of Murtaugh for a base hit, and that'll put Musial over on third base, and that'll bring up Eddie Kazak. And there's a strike in there to Kazak, 0-1 the count. And there's one popped up behind the infield. Murtaugh ends up grabbing that one for the out, 2 away. And here's Marty Marion, who takes a strike. Marion 1 for 4 today. It's a little pop-up. Bachman just runs out of room. 0-2 now the count on Marion. And there's a little fly ball over to Walker, a little bit of a rainbow, a lot of arch on that one. And Walker's got it in right field for the out. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and here comes Pete Castiglione. So it's been a fairly close game, I would say. Castiglione hits a little ground ball over to Marion at short, makes the play, throws to first for the out, 1 away. And here's Eddie Bachman. And Bachman ends up grounding over to Schoendienst to second for the second out. And here's Johnny Hop, takes the ball. 1-0 the count, and swinging a miss at that one away. 1-1 now the count on Johnny. It's on the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2, and there's one fouled away. Still 1-2 the count. There's a ball off the plate. 2-2 now the count on Johnny Hop, and there's a little pop-up, but that's out of play. Still 2-2 on Johnny Hop. Fouled off the plate again. 2-2 the count remains, and the battle continues here. Here's one inside, and it's a full count now on Hop. There's a little ground ball over to Marion. It's short. He makes the easy play and throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 9th, or the top of the 9th inning. My apologies. Joe Garagiola, 17 hits for the Cardinals, only 5 runs. Garagiola with a 1-1 count on him now as Bob Muncrief stays in there and fouls one back. 1-2 now the count on Garagiola. Ground ball over to Castiglione, and he makes the play, throws to first, but not in time. The catcher, Garagiola, able to beat that one out. which is hit number 18 for St. Louis. And here comes Nippy Jones taking a ball high. Fouls one back. 1-1 now the count on Jones. There's a little high fly ball over to right field. Walker has it for the out, 1 away. And here's Red Shundians, 3 for 4 today. Fouls one back. 0-1 the count now on Red. That one's high, 1-1. There's a fastball in there. 1-2 now the count. And that's line foul. 1-2 the count still on Shundians. And 2-2 as he barely holds up in time on that one. There's a ground ball over to Castiglione. No play at second. Throws over to first base for the out. 2 away. And here's Ron Northey. There's a ball down and into Northey. 1-0 the count. Ball 2 is he backs off from one inside, and there's a strike. 2-1 now the count on Northey. And there's a little ground ball over to Castiglione. He is there for it, makes the play over to first base for the out. And the Pirates break their 3-game losing streak. And so much for that one. 8-5, the final score. St. Louis out-hits the Pirates by far, but those 3 errors come back to haunt them. And I hope you enjoy this one. We'll have another.